Under Governor Ron DeSantis, Florida has expanded the tax on LGBTQ citizens. Pride Alliance of the Treasure Coast reacted to these new homophobic laws by announcing Pride Fest would only be open to those over 21 years old. Then they canceled what they called their beloved Port St. Lucie Pride Parade. This effectively ended Pride in a relatively large town with a population of 200,000 people. This is precisely the wrong action to take. What is needed is courage, not cowardice in the face of state-sponsored persecution. Canceling our events only appeases bullies like Governor Ron DeSantis and encourages further attempts to limit our freedom. Organizing is our only path to overcoming this season of politically manufactured moral panic. Instead of canceling the event, what if we reinstated the Port St. Lucie Pride and called it Florida Pride, flooding the city with 50,000 marchers from all around the state? This would send a powerful message that we have the courage to fight and refuse to be cowed. The language in the state's legislation to cancel drag shows is deliberately vague. The goal is to create a climate of uncertainty, confusion, and fear. We must not succumb and allow the ambiguity to create political paralysis. It is critically important to force Republicans to specifically define drag before they enforce laws against it. How do they intend to prove when one crosses the arbitrary and capricious line from gender nonconforming to drag queen? Good luck with that. How much makeup must one wear for the state to officially consider a drag? If one covers up a small blemish with concealer, does that constitute drag? Is a Scottish kilt considered a dress and verboten on a man? What if a woman wears blue jeans and a trucker shirt? Is that considered drag for the state and can't be shown in front of children? Here's a thought. What if this year Pride committees considered dropping the term drag and rebranded these events Pride Fashion Balls? If law enforcement shows up, the performer should stand firm and say, "Define drag queen. I identify as a fashionista." What is the state going to do then? Of course, Republicans would counter that drag is a man wearing the clothes of a woman or a woman wearing the clothes of a man. But the moment they go down this dictatorial rabbit hole, they open a perilous legal and cultural can of worms. In essence, they are creating a new regime of oppressive state-approved uniforms that strictly divide the sexes in Florida. Let these power-drunk Republican zealots explain to voters how it is liberty or freedom when a bunch of old men in Tallahassee get to choose what is acceptable attire for men and women in the state. Will they raid unisex clothing stores next? Will they decide the appropriate length of men's hair or decree that women must wear one-piece bathing suits at the beach to enforce modesty? History shows us that once the authoritarian door is cracked open by moral crackpots, it's a slippery slope to state control we only recently deemed unimaginable. DeSantis and his rubber stamp puppet legislature have already banned abortion at 6 weeks, forcing Florida women to give birth on demand. So it seems a bad bet to believe that Republicans are capable of moderation on issues of social control. Think I'm exaggerating? Consider popular right-wing host Ben Shapiro, who is now promoting strict gender apartheid clothing regulations. Pride Alliance of the Treasure Coast may have been well-intentioned, but canceling pride parades doesn't offer increased safety. It simply encourages our foes to take further steps to intimidate and harass us into choosing invisibility. We shouldn't be cooperating with state and local officials ever to voluntarily strip ourselves of dignity, freedom, and human rights. Our home might be in DeSantistan, but we are Americans first, and we are protected by constitutional rights. The LGBT community has overcome far worse in our history, from Anita Bryant to AIDS discrimination and battles over marriage equality. We have prevailed every single time, and I guarantee we shall do so again.